Alright guys, it's Velvet. Welcome back to Apollo Justice. We're in court now. We gotta get ready to defend a mobster's son. Mr. Rice not here today? He said his old foot injury was acting up. Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday. Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine, as long as you're there, Trucy. Yes, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes justice. I started my voice training at 5 this morning. Ooh, do some now. I want to see. Here. What do you mean? What is... My name is Apollo Justice and I'm fine! You gotta stop saying that, man. It sounds more like a self-mantra than voice training. Oh, here he is. I'm fine. I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Good morning. Yo, sup? Hit me with the guilty verdict, G. See if I care. Why do you want to be found guilty so badly? Just hang loose and let things go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Walkie, don't be running your mouth like that in here. See? That's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops.
Oh, brother!
Real G's can't keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pen. I don't like this defendant. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, literally. Sounds like they've both been voice training too, Apollo. My worst fears realized. The trial's starting and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. That's true. Do we still have all the stuff from... We still have all of this stuff. All we got is this autopsy report. Pal Maractus. Oh, I get it. Malpractice. Got you. Entry point from the right temple. I'm sure that's important. Okay. Court is now in session for the trial of Waki Kitaki. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready to rock and roll, Air Judge. Ah, it's him! The guy from yesterday. He's a prosecutor? It's Mr. Gavin's brother. Long time no see. Prosecutor Gavin, were you taking a leave of absence? You know that little band I started in my free time? Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say nine to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, yeah? I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial. Not to worry, Air Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, yeah. How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength of the little boy who bested my brother? It was worth canceling a show or two. Understood. You may give your opening statements to the court. Before that, I was thinking, is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious? It is a court of law, right? Like, what do you mean? Oh my gosh. That's no way to get the crowd jumping, Air Judge. They're not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom. Achtung, baby. Today we play it my way. What's that noise? Sometimes you have to get on up in order to get down. To prosecuting. This is crazy. The victim Pal Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic. Dang, so he was just flopped over like that? The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand. What in the world was a doctor doing pulling a noodle stand? Yes, I believe you will only find that out by asking the defendant, right here, right now, because it's an undeniable truth that he shot the victim. Now wait a minute. Undeniable is crazy. What do you mean undeniable? If you were to glare at anyone, Air Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. His crime was witnessed, quite clearly, you see. Yeah, that's right, they said they had a decisive witness. Very well, please admit this witness to the court. Are you done? What do you mean, no? First, there's a little matter to be cleaned up. Could you talk without the accompaniment? I swear I could see the guitar for a second. What is it, Prosecutor Gavin? The motive, Air Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic? Not so fast! The defendant doesn't have to explain that. Oh? But what if the defendant specifically requests to do so, as he did this morning? This is because we weren't able to talk to him. I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said. What? What is right?
They always say that on stage you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly?
Eesh. Well, this is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive in the crime. So, you, son, are the defendant Wookie, are you? I ain't your son, old man. You step to a Kataki, you best be prepared to step strong. You step to a public official, you best be prepared to step into jail.
You gotta hand it to him. Wookie sure has guts.
Yeah, it's not his guts I'm worried about. Well, then the court will now hear the testimony on the defendant's motive from the defendant himself. Oh, okay, I'm ready.
I'll tell you one thing. That doctor was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. Messed up my ops something bad. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later. Bye. So I gotta go in and get another doc to patch me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying?
You went to his pad? You're saying you were one of the victim's patients?
A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street. True that. I'll tell you one thing. That doc was whack.
Okay, that doctor's office is run or sponsored by his family, isn't it? Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all this.
We ain't got no choice. We gotta press each one.
Hold it!
First of all, the word you're looking for is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor. Who asked you, Pointy Locks? Just who do you think you are? You're a lawyer who's trying to keep your stupid behind from going to jail? Like,
I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple.
What do you mean by that?
By someone, you mean, was there anyone with a score to settle with this doctor? Besides you, I mean. You better ask somebody else, Holmes. What do I care? I made up my own mind and did what had to be done. Straight gangsta style.
But why were you so mad at this doctor?
Yo, sit back and listen while I drop it, J-Man.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, what was the operation?
Right.
I had what you might call a mark of honor.
Can you explain precisely what was wrong?
We had a little run-in with the
Is it Rivales family? Or Rivales?
That's when I pulled a jack move and ran into an ambush. G busted a cap right in me.
According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting and ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time. By yourself.
Hey, I was more than a match for those guys.
So you were carried to the Maractus clinic from there?
Apparently he was shot in the heart. Ooh, really? Shot in the heart and he's still alive? I can catch bullets between my teeth.
Alright, Trucy.
And I never learned how to catch them with my heart. The bullet stopped just short of my thumper. You know what I'm saying? I would have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet.
So, as you say, the surgery was a failure.
So what do you mean, that bullet is still inside you? That ain't all of it, Holmes. What do you mean he just let you go without a word? What do you think it means? It's whack, that's what.
I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad.
Sounds as though Herr Doctor wished to hide his mistake. This is why he let the defendant go. He's a liar, straight up. He's a badder G than me.
In that case, you'd think you'd have respect for him then.
Hold it!
So this bullet is still...
That's what I figured, it's still in his heart. Alright, man. We don't care about your songs. Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice.
Word, J-Man. Weren't no accident.
That's for shizzle. What year is this game supposed to take place again? It seems that there were issues with this doctor.
Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor. Lucky.
Please consult your lawyer before saying things like that.
Chin up, Apollo. Back straight.
But why did this mistake only come to light that day?
It was found during the family health checkup. So you're saying you only found this out recently?
Oh, wow, the whole family went and got exams?
That was the wackest thing of all. All us G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Ugh, pardon me. Better die young than fade away, Bizoy.
A relief to hear.
Eh? What's a relief?
Oh? Did your father not tell you? That bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you.
Well, yeah, if it's right up against it.
Yes, Herr Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life.
No way! That's whacked!
There's proof. Your checkup report. Oh, wow. Okay. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. Hold on. Let me look at this. Oh, it just says metallic object found near heart, urgent exam needed. You're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started. Oh wow, so now we'll be introduced to our witness. You've had enough of a warm-up act, yeah? Time to hear from the witness.
Lucky sure is quiet all of a sudden.
I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gavin's strategy? We'll find out. Ugh. So, you will tell us your name and occupation. Wesley Stickler? Okay. My name is Wesley Stickler. Maybe I should make him a bit more dignified. We'll figure it out. Whoa! Wait a minute! Hello? He's unemployed? Sir. By which he means to say that he's a student. Okay, a junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honing my... Herr Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today. Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime. You asked quite simplistically what I saw. However, we must understand that Homo sapiens possess two eyes, each of these designed to receive and interpret data. Okay. I'm scared to press his statements. Oh my gosh. That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot! The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead. Maybe I don't have to press him? Because it said the bullet wound was on the side of his head. If they were facing each other, he couldn't have been the one to have shot him. Was there anyone else in the park at that time? I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. The pistol our witness refers to is this. Court accepts it into evidence. 2 rounds were fired. 2 rounds were fired? Fingerprints were wiped. He died from damage to the brain resulting from a bullet wound. The entry point was from the right temple. 2 bullets came out of that gun though. I really don't think I need to cross-examine, but I don't know, we'll see. What I mean is, I don't think I need to press any statements. What's up, Trucy? I can't help but feel I've seen him somewhere before. Is he the one that took your underwear? Put him on a list. That would make sense why you at that park, because we found his mama's underwear in the trash can. The defendants. Alright, present the autopsy?
Objection!
Phew, if that's all of it, I think I have a chance.
Is that you relaxing, I see, Air Justice?
Huh? Oh,
Objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice.
Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet.
Right. Look at this. The autopsy report? Is there a problem with the autopsy report?
Right. A problem. Problem. Yes! The problem is the location of the entry wound.
The location?
You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not?
Ah, I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really.
Alright, man. A krypton particle.
Mr. Justice, yes. What's your objection to these, krypton particle things? This is the big time, and you are obsessed with something so small? You disappoint me.
No, I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here.
Do tell.
Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple.
Temple?
Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? It is, right? Finally!
Objection!
To what?
What is it? What did I do? Your tactics are outdated. Trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles. Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago? Phoenix Wright, was it?
Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to this testimony. Ugh.
Hey, air forehead.
Forehead?
Let us imagine you're walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, air forehead?
Well, I guess I would try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!"
And you, Fraulein?
Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eee!"
And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout, I wonder?
If the victim turned his head at the last moment,
Ah, yes. Thank you for jogging my memory.
Ah, crap. Okay. A Night in the Park 2.
As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. "Cease this at once, you two!" I cried. With composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
That gun was wiped of its fingerprints. If he just tossed it and left the gun there, his fingerprints would be on the gun, and only his fingerprints. But they were wiped. If he did shoot, did he actually hit the doctor?
So you attempted to stop the crime. Indeed. With composure.
Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that.
That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagrams. We love them.
Another map as well.
The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it? Stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report. Does seem to be the case. Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science! Very well, Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. Now I have no choice but to press him.
Hold it!
So you saw a raised pistol.
Weren't you frightened? It can be said we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action. That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot. Eh? You certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't have left a witness behind.
He actually looks like he had no idea he was in danger.
Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed.
Hold it!
Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turned? Indeed, I would say about the same time, to be precise.
And the victim didn't ask you for help?
It can be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step.
I'm totally sure that the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him.
Don't say that too loud, Trucy, please.
Hold it!
Well, he already seems like a punk. The other sense of the word, not his appearance. Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly? He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed. He simply couldn't believe what he had done. He shot, he panicked. A common tale, but true. Unfortunately, before I could take further action... Okay, so here's my thing, right? Do I present the gun to him? Press it first. Press it first. You didn't try to apprehend the criminal? It all happened so fast. I'm afraid I hadn't the time.
Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo? The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away.
According to the testimony, that's what happened, yes.
In that case, I'd expect to find something that we didn't...
Okay, I gotta trust my first mind.
Objection!
Wait a second.
Another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse, you can't see how it affects you.
Come again?
Wait a second, you say? A second? Are we intended to wait just that? A single second? 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time... Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor? Am I to understand you are objecting to the length of a... Oh my gosh! Everybody in this game is so stupid!
Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it.
Ah, a common ploy made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints.
Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran. That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints.
Yeah, idiot. Ah, the little girl sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there.
I'm not little.
Then let's think like adults, shall we, Fraulein?
Eh?
What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves?
Gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo.
Well, Mr. Justice, the gun was shot twice! I'm gonna say no way, because...
The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were wiped, which means some trace of prints remained, which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you say it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol.
That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant, he threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. and this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of. That sounds solid to me. Well, Air Forehead, any of your precious objections?
Yes, the gun was fired twice. What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work. You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say. What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said?
Huh? Isn't what obvious?
When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Walkie drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Walkie threw away.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. Okay, Trucy.
He's just confused because a pistol was found at the scene. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be so hard to be so perfect, and yet so wrong.
Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended. Well, it is indeed true that once in my youth... Okay. What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this?
Well, if what he threw wasn't a pistol, then it had to be something else.
At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking.
I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin.
Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else? What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene? Oh, the knife.
Take that!
Is that a sword? I saw one of those on the late-night movie last night. Great, a sleep-deprived judge.
This knife was found at the scene of the crime, with the defendant's prints on it.
His prints?
This single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that what the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, that the defendant wasn't wearing gloves.
Indeed. Oh, Air Forehead, you're forgetting two other things you've just proven.
Huh?
One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Walkie Kitaki. Two, that the defendant was holding a knife, with the intent of harming the victim.
Okay, but the victim was shot, so... Never underestimate a Gavin is the lesson here.
Okay, this court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please. It is always the same with you people. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later, his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up to him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming. Yes, that's what I said. Assuming. As if that were a probable situation at all. Yeah, all right, man, just start the testimony. From shot to call. Is the music faster or am I tripping? I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else.
Why didn't you chase the killer?
He was, as you say, a killer. Of course, I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than an aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that. Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? And do we not also know now that there was no one else present? It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not? Does it not, Mr. Justice?
Oh, I'd better find a way to take this testimony down quick. "10 minutes later is really specific. Can you tell us in detail about these 10 minutes? I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction. Is that all? No one came. Nothing happened at all. I saw it all, which is to say, I saw nothing. That park is right across the street. Phoenix got hit. What time did Phoenix get hit by the car? Do we know? We don't know that, huh? But how do we bring that up? Had enough at last, Air Forehead. Is it time to back off a bit? I guess we'll back off. We have no real way of bringing up the other things that have happened during that night. There's nothing fishy about that testimony at all. It appears there are no objections to the witness's current testimony. There are any number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves, which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then, after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion. Don't tell me he's gonna rule. Are you serious? What? That can't be all. How unfortunate. It seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Were you, Air Forehead? This court will now declare a verdict for the defendant, Waki Kitaki. Hello? Are you serious? Trucy? Now, Apollo, how did you not see this? How did you not see this happening? How did you let this happen? Nobody move. What's the meaning of this? Who are you? There'll be no verdict in this court. Not yet. Wait, are you one of the Kitakis? The Kitakis? You mean the notorious gangsters? If you don't want to see me give the pretty little girl a new smile, do as I say. Adjourn the court for 20 minutes. What? This court will not bow to pressure from the likes of... Air Judge. I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman. Right, you was just gonna let Trucy get... Recess. 20 minutes. Or I promise you, you'll regret it. And then he just took her. Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo. I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man. To be continued. I feel like I just started the game. Okay, well, we'll end it here, I guess. We reached the to be continued. That's where I end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this part of Apollo Justice. Sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger, but if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like. And if you want to keep up with more of the things that I do, you can click that subscribe button. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.